Coming up, a government shutdown could impact Iowa. And later, the Stanley Art Museum takes on a risk with a new exhibition.
The Hawkeyes get shut out in Happy Valley.
And the rain heads out to bring in the sunshine.
All that and more coming up on this Monday morning edition of DITV News.
Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM.
I'm Max Von Grease.
And I'm Ashley Wheel. The Iowa City Police Department have confirmed that 15-year-old Bridget Stone has been located and reunited with her family. Stone was reported missing on Friday, September 15th, after friends and family said that they had not seen her since the 11th. Stone's friends said that she had been talking about a trip to Chicago, but the Iowa City Police Department has not released any information regarding where she was during the time she was missing. And after their recent budget proposal was turned down, the Iowa Board of Regents is set to ask for just under $15 million in general education funds for the next fiscal year. This is less than half of what they asked for in their previous proposal. The new proposal would see a 3% increase in the funding for the 3 public universities, totaling the budget up to $506.3 million. This would be distributed as $4.5 million to the University of Iowa and Iowa State University, while the remaining $5.8 million is going to the University of Northern Iowa. And now this weekend was the start of officially autumn. And it seems like it cooled down a little bit, but it's still pretty warm outside, right?
Yeah, actually, I really like it when autumn gets those crisp fall weather and the leaves start to get really vibrant outside.
It just gets beautiful outside. We'll check in with Hannah, who is live outside this morning with this forecast.
Hey guys, it's another warm day in Iowa City. Although the first day of fall was Saturday, it's still feeling like summer to me. I'm at the Iowa Soccer Complex, where it's currently a chilly 60 degrees. The high for today will be 78 with the sun popping out behind the clouds, and tonight the low will dip down to 65. Tomorrow gets a little chillier with a high of 72 and some rain in the early morning and afternoon. Looking at the week ahead, Wednesday keeps with the rainy day trend with a high of 74 and a low of 60, with showers in the late morning. Thursday warms up a little at 76 and partly cloudy skies. Friday heats up to 82 degrees with the sun coming back out. The sun stays for the weekend with a high of 84 on Saturday for the Hawkeyes against Michigan State, and Sunday at 83. I guess I'm going to have to wait a little while to bring out my fall sweaters. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Hannah. And with a government shutdown looming this week, the impact of a possible shutdown may be felt around the country. DITV Assistant News Director Johnny Valtman is in the newsroom with more on what would happen if the government does shut down this week.
Thanks, Ashley. And while the government has shut down before, this time the stakes have been elevated as the September 30th deadline approaches.
As of today, Congress has yet to pass any legalization or approve funding for any branches of the government. That leaves 4 million federal workers at risk of not receiving pay if a budget is not passed on time. In Iowa, impacts would include possible delays for residents getting a passport. Some federal parks and public places would be closed. Research at Iowa's universities may be put on hold, and small businesses are also at risk of losing access to federal loans. Around 1,000 full-time Iowa National Guard members would not be allowed to work. On the other side of the coin, right now the state government offices and courthouses will remain open in the event of a shutdown. Unemployment checks would continue, along with veteran clinics and hospitals remaining open. University students would still receive financial aid as well.
If a new budget is not agreed on by September 30th, the government will shut down on October 1st. I'll send it back to you in the studio, Ashley.
Thanks, Johnny. And on September 15th, the United Auto Workers went on strike against Ford Motor Company, General Motors, and Stellantis. This is the first trilateral strike against the automakers in the union's history. In solidarity with the striking workers, tomorrow, President Biden will be joining the workers on the picket line in Michigan.
Those record profits have not been shared fairly, in my view, with those workers. Just as the Treasury Department has released a report pointing out that the most comprehensive report ever dealing with how unions are good for both union workers and non-union workers.
This comes after President Biden was invited to the picket line by Union President Shawn Fain. An escalation of the strike as the parts distribution centers of General Motors and Stellantis have gone on strike as well. And the Stanley Museum of Art has released its latest catalog. In a Time of Witness was created in collaboration with 26 writers from the University of Iowa's Writers' Workshop. This was a risky move, however, for the museum, as art interpretation is usually done by historians, not writers. The catalog was created in an effort to showcase a connection between literature and art interpretation. And Iowa City hosted the Oil and Spiegel Puppet Theater Company yesterday for a history-focused puppet festival at City Park. The performances were headlined with the local Iowa story of Kate Shelley's train rescue. Kate Shelley was an Iowa teenager that saved members of a train crew from drowning after a bridge collapse. Children from Iowa City came to watch the shows and participate in crafts and games before and after the shows.
I'd like people to have an interest in live theater, if that's at all possible, because it's kind of a wonderful thing. I think storytelling is a very natural and ancient human thing to do, and I think storytelling is really important because it always teaches empathy when you can imagine yourself in another's shoes. So I really hope that my shows, make the world a better place.
The company now returns to West Liberty to prepare for their next show. And the 27th annual Oktoberfest was held on the north side of Iowa City to celebrate the arrival of the autumn season. On Saturday, the beer-centric celebration has origins in Northside's brewing history from German immigration. New features from this year's edition included the music from Nathan Bassinger and Swampland Atro, the new keg toss game, and many more food options. The University of Iowa's Young Americans for Freedom chapter will welcome activist Chloe Cole to speak in the Black Box Theater later October 16th. The 19-year-old is known for her advocacy of opposing gender-affirming care for minors after detransitioning. After her speech, she will host a Q&A with the audience. The event is free and open to the public. And it seems like there's a lot going on this week, a lot of fun in Iowa City, but it seems like there may not have been too much fun across the country here.
Yeah, out on the gridiron, it was not too fun for these Hawkeyes, and everyone knew that a road game at Penn State was going to be difficult, but nobody, including myself, Ashley, expected the Hawkeyes to be beat 31-0. DITV Sports Director Michael Merrick was at the game on Saturday and saw Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes get shut out for the first time since 2000.
And as you can see, I am at Beaver Stadium right now, and they call it the greatest show in all of college football here, but it looks like the Hawkeyes might have left their tickets back in Iowa City. Penn State dominated this one 31-0, and Iowa just couldn't get anything going offensively.
This is the worst feeling in the world. I don't remember the last time I've ever felt this bad about a game, let alone a day in my life.
So. Yeah, whether you lose by 30 or you lose by 1, it's tough, it's hard. And I think the biggest thing, again, we'll try to learn from it. We'll get through the tape quick tomorrow, and then we're going to move forward and focus on next week, and that's really all that's going to matter at this stage.
Iowa would turn the ball over 4 times in this one, and they only had a total of 76 yards against Penn State in their 31-0 loss against the Nittany Lions. This is the first time Iowa has been shut out in 23 years. But the team still has plenty of faith that they can turn this season around.
I think this team can beat that team. I don't think this tonight is a reflection of the offense, the defense, or the special teams. This team is better than what we played tonight. I believe that with my whole heart, and I can promise you that we'll be fueled, we'll be motivated for the rest of the season.
I'm going to take my guys. How many guys we have on the team? 120 guys against anybody.
Unfortunately for Iowa, or very fortunately for Iowa, they will not have to play Penn State next week, as they will return home to Kinnick to take on Michigan State. And the Hawkeyes are going to look to improve in every aspect of the game against the Spartans team that is in the middle of firing their head coach right now. So if Iowa doesn't show major growth against Michigan State, this could be a much longer and disappointing season than everyone expected. From Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley, Michael Merrick, DITV Sports.
And after that disappointing loss, we shift our focus to a team that is absolutely on fire in Iowa athletics, the undefeated and #1 ranked Iowa field hockey squad. DITV's reporter David Consuelos is live outside of Grant Field with more on this historic Hawkeye run. David, what you got for us?
That's right, Max. This Iowa field hockey team is on fire, and right now it looks like nobody in the country can stop them. The top-ranked Hawkeyes traveled to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where they took on the number 14th ranked Wolverines and came out victorious, winning 2-0. It was the Hawkeyes' Big Ten opener, and boy was it a message to the rest of the Big Ten that they're not a team to mess with. It was the Hawkeyes' 7th, and yes, Max, you heard that correctly, 7th shutout of this young season. And it moves the Hawkeyes' record to 9-0 overall, with 4 of those games being against ranked opponents. Sophomore goalie Mia Magnotta recorded 3 saves against the Wolverines, bringing her total to 18 on the season and 2 saves per game, which is absolutely incredible. The Lady Hawks will be back here on Friday to host the Buckeyes from Ohio State. Back to you in the studio, Max.
Thanks, David. And the Iowa volleyball squad fell to number 21 ranked Ohio State last night, 3-0. The Hawks kept the first 2 sets close, losing 25-22 and 26-24, as the Buckeyes rolled in the third to win it 25-14 to sweep Iowa at home. Delaney McSweeney led the team in kills with 11, and BYU transfer Natalie Moravec was right behind her with 8. The Hawks fall to 8-6 on the season and are now 0-2 to start the Big Ten schedule, and now they will travel to Bloomington on Friday to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. And on Saturday, the Iowa softball team took down the Redbirds from Illinois State 6-0. It was double trouble for the Hawks as they scored all of their runs off of doubles, with 2 of them coming off the bat of redshirt freshman Kelsey Winters. The team recorded 10 hits combined, with 4 different batters recording RBIs. And yesterday, the team took on Kirkwood Community College and had their way, dropping 11 runs on the Eagles in an exhibition game. The Hawks broke the contest open in the 4th after Riley Moss drove in 2 runs after a single from Skyland Pogue, followed with a 2-run home run to take a 6-run lead. The Hawks combined for 19 hits, and 4 players recorded a multi-hit game. Iowa also showcased 6 different arms in the circle and combined for 10 strikeouts. The Hawkeyes' next challenge will be against Northern Iowa on Friday at 5 p.m. in Cedar Falls. And on the soccer pitch yesterday, Iowa took on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in their 3rd Big Ten Conference game. The Hawks tallied just 3 shots on goal and allowed 5, but Hawkeye goaltender Macy Enneking saved all 5, but the Gophers were also able to hold Iowa to 0, and the game ended in a 0-0 draw. Iowa is now 0-1-2 to start Big Ten play and are now 6-1-3 overall, and they will take on Purdue in West Lafayette this Thursday. And talking about that field hockey team, Ashley, there's a lot of excitement in women's athletics here at the University of Iowa.
Women's athletics is just going crazy. I know that everyone's looking forward to basketball coming up, and I think everyone's ready for a great season this year for everyone. And we're going to send it back out to Hannah for a quick weather recap.
Thanks, guys. The summer sun and temperatures seem to want to stay in Iowa City. Not that I'm complaining. I'm all about that above 4 UV to keep my tan from fading. Hopefully, the seasonal depression will have a shorter run this year. Even with the days getting shorter, fall doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon. So go outside and enjoy that nice temperature before we're back in that Iowa winter. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Anna. And Super Bowl 2024 has found its halftime performer. Singer and dancer Usher will be taking the stage next February at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. He will be following in the footsteps of Rihanna, who performed this year, and Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J., and Kendrick Lamar, who performed in 2022. Usher told reporters he plans to release an album titled Coming Home on the day of his performance. Lots to look forward to there. And thank you for tuning in to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM.
Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday.
For DITV News, I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm Max Von Gries. Have a great Monday.